again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Today would have been a time when we took to the streets as we came together as a united nation to celebrate the 75th anniversary of victory in Europe. We will come together, but in a different way than we envisaged, standing at the front of our houses, socially distanced from our neighbours as we hold silence. And then later in the day to raise a glass of something in commemoration. This is a time to remember all those who sacrificed themselves, both from our country, the Commonwealth and allied countries, to bring about the peace and freedom we enjoy today. But we can't do that as we would like to, because today we are in the midst of a battle with another enemy. An enemy that we cannot see, but that, like the events during the Second World War, is affecting the life of not just those living here and in Europe, but the entire world. When I think about the impact of all those affected by the war, the loss of life both within the services and the civilian population, the wounded both physically and mentally, and family and friends who cared for them, relationships which had to be restored after separation, and working lives which had to be rebuilt in an effort to create financial stability. Those who were grieving, many never having had a chance to say goodbye, and all those who worked in the UK to keep us safe, healthy, and to ensure that we were fed. And those we think about today as people in priority occupations. And it's no wonder that so many people have compared our current situation to that of the war. We are facing what has been called so many times an unprecedented situation. And I guess many of you can relate to the things I mentioned earlier. Separation, social distancing, death of a loved one whom you've not had a chance to say goodbye to, financial worries, breakdowns in relationships, concerns about mental and physical health, and even the thought about how you'll cope when this is all over and we have to go back out into the world. Whether it's back into the normal, the new normal day-to-day routine, or back into that daily work routine. It all sounds quite bleak, doesn't it? But take heart, because what encourages me, and I hope you, is that we found a new sense of community, a new feeling that we are in this together and that together we can beat it. We've come together to applaud our care and essential workers. We have showed self-discipline in both social distancing and staying at home to help others and to stop spread the disease. That wonderful British sense of humour which shines through even in the bleakest of times. Bringing a smile and lifting spirits, that's not disappeared. Nor has the generosity of people who sometimes, not always having much of their own, have supported the many fundraising efforts by both those well known and those only known locally for so many charities who depend upon fundraising. The heartwarming stories of people coming together to help others, be it through delivering food parcels and medicines, checking on neighbours, whilst following social distancing rules, of course. Converting businesses to help the relief effort, to name but a few. In the New Testament of the Bible, in John chapter 15, verse 13, it tells us, "Greater love has no one than this, that one should lay down one's life for a friend." As a child and a teenager, this verse used to cause me a great deal of concern. The thought of having to die to show the greatest love made me wake up during some nights, worrying as to how or if I could do that if I had to. But I look at that verse differently these days. For laying down your life varies in form depending upon the time in which we live. It may be the extreme, like so many who were and are killed during times of war, a time of extreme giving. losing one's life. Or it may be as simple as laying aside your normal day-to-day life as we're having to do today. So this weekend, let us not forget those who gave their all so that we could enjoy the peace and freedom that we have today. And as we give thanks to God for their sacrifice, let us also give thanks for all of those today who are in their own way giving up their lives so that we can be kept safe and cared for. And we'll close now with a prayer from a colleague of mine from my days in the Ministry of Defence at Catterick, Padre Richard Smith.
A prayer for VE Day. Lord our God, as we recall the events of VE Day 75 years ago, we recognise the mixture of emotions from the millions who had endured 6 years of war. We remember the joy and celebrations of crowds in London. We remember the quiet realisation of survival from soldiers on all sides. And we remember with deep regret the unspeakable horrors of industrial warfare. Today we give thanks for a more peaceful world and pray that we might never return to such days of darkness. Trusting in your strength and offering all our prayers through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.